demonstrate every single day the difference that they don't just make in this country, but they make in their communities. And I, for one, and I think it would be useful, even though you don't do this in a press conference, thank you. And I need to be quick because we've got an incredible panel of speakers, but I am a leader getting questions about these butterflies, which is a symbol we've adopted today that really speaks to the beauty of migration and the value and importance of doing that. And I'm delighted and very proud that I'm, in fact, wearing this beautiful sticker. And we provided that information to the press, but for those of you who are here backing us up, that's what we're doing. So, of course, I'm really proud to be here today. I'm Congresswoman Michelle Lujan Grisham. I represent the 1st District in New Mexico, and I'm the chairwoman of the Congressional Hispanic Caucus. And today, we're here with the largest group of Dreamers to ever attend a State of the Union. And the value of this is twofold. We want to make sure that the president, as he addresses the nation, that he's seeing the faces of young people who are contributing to our communities every day, and for them to participate in a process where we want to make sure that those same ideals are being recognized by Americans. These young people, as you know, have been educated in our schools. They've gone to college on their own dime. They pass background checks. They've paid a fee to work here legally. They pay taxes. And they have meaningful, and we need them, careers and families. Dreamers are young people who are American in every single way except one. And they deserve to have a shot to fully contribute as citizens of the only country most of them have ever known. Our message to President Trump, Senator McConnell, and Speaker Ryan is clear today. 90% of Americans want Dreamers to be protected. The overwhelmingly majority of Congress does too. We want to stop holding them and stop prolonging the anxiety and terror that these young people and their families are feeling. We want them to give us a vote on one of many bipartisan solutions that, in fact, protects Dreamers. If the president and Republican leaders are serious about finding a solution for Dreamers before February 8th, and absolutely and unequivocally before March 5th, then they should simply just give us a vote. Stop holding these young people hostage. Do the will, thank you. Stop holding them as your political pawns. Do the will of the people. Let's get government moving and to work again. And with that, a woman who needs no introduction, who's been a fearless fighter on this and so many other issues, our leader, Nancy Pelosi.
I'm proud of our chair of the Congressional Hispanic Caucus and for her courage and her leadership. Thank you. Thank you. Well, thank you, Madam Chair, for bringing us all together today to salute our Dreamers. Our Dreamers who are here honoring the vows of our founders, creating a country where every generation took responsibility to make the future better for the next. It became known as the American Dream, and we are here with Dreamers fulfilling that call. Their parents, and I want you to thank your parents for bringing you here. You are the pride of America, and you are, and our Dreamers, you are here to stay. You are here to stay. As the chairwoman mentioned, dozens of Dreamers, the largest number ever to watch witness, observe, attend a State of the Union address, come with expressing beautifully their dignity and their courage and their respect for our institutions. We, yes, call upon the Speaker and the leader in the Senate to bring forth legislation that protects the Dreamers. Instead, we hear some rhetoric that brings tears to the eyes of the Statue of Liberty, fears to the hearts of so many people across the country, but it doesn't have to be that way. There is bipartisan support, not only overwhelmingly in the country, but bipartisan support in the Congress. And we will not rest. We will not stop. This will not end except happily for our Dreamers. They are inspiration. But the hopes, dreams, and aspirations of their families to make the future better for them. They subscribe to American traits of optimism and courage and faith in the future. In doing so, they and our dreamers and their families make America more American. Thank you for that. And now it is my privilege to yield and welcome to the House side a leader on this issue in the country, in the Congress, and greatly in the United States Senate. You'll hear from him in his own words, but I want to express gratitude on the part of all us who care about Dreamers for his extraordinary leadership on their behalf. Senator Booker.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Speaker Pelosi, maybe 2 years too early, but Speaker Pelosi, I am thrilled and honored to be here today and to be able to have the privilege of standing in front of an incredible group of Americans who are Americans in every single way except for a piece of paper. I'm very proud that tonight I am bringing a great American here to the Capitol for the State of the Union address. Her name is Liz. She is from New Jersey. She's from Richfield Park, New Jersey. She created a startup that employs over 800 people. She is a tech entrepreneur. Liz graduated second in her high school class, and she also runs a nonprofit helping Latino entrepreneurs have access to venture capital. This is the kind of talent, this is the kind of brilliance, this is the kind of genius, this is the kind of artistry, this is the kind of beauty that exists in our fellow Americans who are dreamers. And I just want to conclude by saying this. I, as an African American, know that I am here because of a dream. I stand here today because of bold dreamers who came before me when they were being denied full citizenship rights. Even though, like the dreamers of today, they fought in our wars. Even though, like the dreamers of today, there are innovators and our inventors. Even though, like the dreamers of today, they teach in our schools and they are our first responders. I am here because of a dream. But there's not a black dream or a Latino dream or an Asian dream. There's one dream in this country, and that is the American dream. And in the words of a great poet, I tell you right now, all of us should be worried. Because as Langston Hughes said, there is a dream in this land with its back against the wall. To save the dream for one, you must save the dream for all. And now I'm going to bring this great whippersnapper, this great whip to the microphone. Somebody I respect, somebody I love, a great American, Steny Hoyer.
All right. I challenged him for a good introduction, and I think he succeeded. All of these dreamers who stand here with us were protected by President Obama. And almost 90%, as the chairwoman said, are saying, protect the dreamers. Keep the dreamers here. Keep them working for us. Creating 800 jobs. That is an extraordinary. So what that means, if that dreamer leaves, it just doesn't affect that dreamer. It affects 800 families. Thousands of people. That's what we're here about. Thank you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for having the courage and the commitment to sign up. And for those of you who didn't sign up, you may have been smart because your government may have let you down because President Trump took the protection away. And he said to those of us in Congress, do it the right way. Yes. He didn't say that he didn't want to protect the dreamers. He said, do it the right way. Pass legislation, which, as I said, and the chairwoman has said, almost 9 out of 10 Americans say it's the right thing to do. And so we're here today. We're going to listen to the President of the United States talk about the State of the Union. And the State of the Union is better because of the dreamers. The State of the Union will be brighter in the future if we make the right decision for dreamers. Cory Booker was right. Leader Pelosi was right. Michelle Lujan Grisham was right. America is a land of dreamers. Indeed, it is a land of dreamers. And that is why America is so great. Because of its diversity, because of its different views, and the ability to come together and work together. I am so proud to be here with a 19-year-old fireball who's going to make America a wonderful, wonderful place for those who come after her. Her name is a wonderful, wonderful name. We know Gabby Giffords. We know Gabrielle Giffords, who's done such a wonderful job. This is Gabriela Hernandez. Gabriela, thank you so much for what you're doing. She came here at 4. She's been in elementary school, junior high school, and she's now in college. And she said the other day when we were on TV together, she said, you know, I put my hand over my heart and I pledge allegiance to the only country I know, the United States of America. One nation, under God, indivisible. Let us hope that in the next few days, we say to these dreamers, dream on here. Let us redeem the American dream and do the right thing and keep the dreamers in the country that is theirs, but for paper. God bless you, dreamers. Who do I introduce now? I don't know that I'm supposed to introduce the next speaker. I am supposed to introduce Judy Chu. So I will do that. Judy. I got you. Judy Chu is the chair of the Asian American Pacific Island Caucus, which has many more members than our Asian Pacific Americans or Pacific Islanders. Judy Chu was a former member of the Senate in California and was a strong, principled voice at that point in time. And she remains an extraordinary, strong leader on behalf of dreamers in America from wherever they come. Ladies and gentlemen, the chair of the caucus, Judy Chu.
As chair of the Congressional Asian Pacific American Caucus, I am so proud to introduce you to my guest for tonight's State of the Union, Jung Bin Cho. Jung Bin and his parents left Korea when he was just 6 years old. His parents wanted him and his younger brother to have a chance at the best education, so they worked hard, one as a hairdresser, the other at a gas station, to provide for their family. But as he grew, Jung Bin became aware he was different. Like how in high school, his younger brother couldn't travel with his sport team because he didn't have the right kind of identification. Or when he tried to get a Virginia State ID card and he was told that he didn't have the proper documentation. Jung Bin then realized that he was not documented, but none of it deterred him. He remained a dreamer in every sense of the word, and when DACA was announced, he became one. Thanks to DACA, he was able to get a job and save money to pay for college, so that today he stands here as a proud graduate of Virginia Tech with a business information technology degree. And all he asks is that he not be deported to a home he never knew. If deported to South Korea, he would have to start anew, speaking a non-native language to family that he's never met. Here he has roots, a community, and a future. And there's so many others like him. Jung Bin is one of 130,000 Asian Pacific Islander dreamers who wants nothing more than their shot at the American dream. And what I want Donald Trump to see tonight are the faces of these dreamers. I want him to know that it is not right for him to pit dreamers against all the families in this country seeking family reunification. He would be just trading one family's pain for another. So, we are prepared to present these dreamers. We're proud to stand by people like Jung Bin, who represents the best of America, and we're proud to fight for a Clean Dream Act. And now, I'd like to introduce a very outstanding dreamer, Danae Joseph, a UCLA student, part of the UndocuBlack Network, and a guest of Senator Kamala Harris.
So first and foremost, I'm a UCLA graduate. Go Bruins. Hello everyone, my name is Danae Joseph and I am a 23-year-old DACA recipient from Los Angeles. I immigrated to the United States from Belize, Central America at the age of 7 years old without my mother, father, or siblings. As the eldest child, my parents sent me to live with my maternal grandmother, who provided me with the tools to access opportunities that weren't readily available in Belize. It's because of their dream that I'm standing before you all today. As a DACA recipient, I was able to intern in a congressional office, study abroad in both Spain and Morocco, and most recently, earn a bachelor's degree in African American Studies from the University of California, Los Angeles. My next aspiration is to attend law school, graduate, and use my degree to craft and enact policies. Policies that don't criminalize the original dreamers, our parents and grandparents who have paved the way for us to have access to the opportunities that we do today. But that dream is deferred until Congress can pass a long-lasting solution to a long-standing problem. We need a Clean Dream Act now. A Clean Dream Act that doesn't use the 800,000 DACA recipients as pawns to criminalize the remainder of the immigrant community. A Dream Act that protects the diversity visa and the family-based immigration system. And lastly, a Dream Act that doesn't lead to the building of a wall that violates a basic human right, the right to immigrate. There are 600,000 Black undocumented Americans in this country. I'm only one of them. Shirley Chisholm once said, if they don't give you a seat at the table, you must bring a folding chair. As a Black undocumented woman from Belize, I've always had to bring that folding chair to ensure that stories like mine are represented within the mainstream immigrant narrative. Granted, I am honored and grateful that Senator Harris chose me and has provided me with the opportunity to have a seat at the table. Thank you, Senator Harris, for recognizing that immigration is a Black issue. My liberation is bound to yours. If I'm not free, then you're not free. So it's important that we continue to advocate for our collective liberation. With each passing day, people are losing status and becoming subject to detention, deportation, and separation from families. The time to pass a Clean Dream Act is now, not February 8th and not March 5th, now. Thank you. Okay, and I was getting ready to forget who I have to introduce next. That is Representative David Price of North Carolina, the 4th District.
Thank you and good afternoon. I'm David Price, 4th District, North Carolina. That would be Raleigh, Durham, Chapel Hill. Proud to join all these colleagues and all these dreamers in highlighting the stories of dreamers from across our country. These young people were brought to our country as very young people, very young age. They've known no other country as their own. They're our neighbors, our classmates, our colleagues, members of our armed services. They pledge allegiance to our flag. They help pay our taxes. And they contribute to our economy. And I'm honored to be joined today by one such person from my district. Her name is America Moreno Jimenez. And she's going to be my guest tonight at the State of the Union address. America was brought to our country when she was 2 years old. She's lived here for 22 years. Despite the persistent uncertainty and fear created by her immigration status, America persevered to graduate from high school and college and graduate school. Then, because of the DACA program, she was able to become a certified English as a second language teacher, filling a critical need in our state, serving an often overlooked population. So this is an inspiring story. It's only one, though. It's only one of these stories. Her success is one of many stories of dreamers who came to the U.S. as children, who've made valuable, valuable contributions to the only nation they've ever known, and whose potential, once we get this worked out, and we will get it worked out, the potential is just incalculable. It's a very exciting prospect. So I'd like to introduce America to you, and ask her to say a few words about her own experience. America.
Good afternoon. I'm humbled to be here, and I am very grateful and honored, but thank you. But I would wish that it wasn't necessary. If it were up to me, I would rather be home watching this happen from my TV screen. But that is not possible. I have to be here to fight and advocate for my basic human rights. Thanks to DACA, I've been able to get a job with the government. I'm a public school teacher, and I've been working as a public school teacher for 2 years. I'm on the verge of closing on a home in two to 3 weeks, depending on the paperwork. But none of that would have been possible without DACA. And I don't know if in a few months after I get this home, will I be able to make my mortgage payments, because will I be able to work? It's very uncertain. And what I want is the resolve from the president to make a decision, to either tell us if there's going to be something in our favor or not. Because one thing that I know is that dreamers, ourselves and our families, we are resilient and we are adaptable. For 22 years, I have had to adapt to different situations that have come across, my life and my way. And it would be awful if we did not get a DREAM Act. But at the same time, whatever we have, we need to know so we can plan for the future. Stop playing games and political games with our lives. We are human, and I just would like the world to see that. We have lives. I think it's really important that we are all sharing our stories here. I have had many colleagues come up to me, many friends who said they've never met anybody who's undocumented. And it is until we raise our voices that we are able to change people's minds. A long time ago, 90% of Americans would not have thought that dreamers belonged here. But because of the work that we are doing here today, that is changing. The public wants this. We want this. Thank you. Actually, one more thing. Let me introduce Congresswoman Clark.
Thank you very much. Thank you so much, America. Thank you for sharing your story with us. I'm here representing the Congressional Black Caucus's Immigration Task Force. I'm also here today because there were two dreamers that decided to come from the beautiful island nation of Jamaica with their dream, and they raised 2 children here in the United States. I'm here today on behalf of nearly 30,000 dreamers in New York City. I'm here today on behalf of countless number of TPS and diversity visa recipients in New York. I'm here on behalf of the people of the 9th Congressional District of New York who find themselves the target of Donald Trump's most discriminatory and cruel policy proposals. I am here today on behalf of the resistance. I've seen Donald Trump's immigration framework. It is discriminatory, it is anti-immigrant, and it holds dreamers hostage to his extremist vision of border security. The framework also cruelly attacks Black and African immigrants by eliminating the diversity visa lottery program, which serves as one of the main sources of immigration from the continent of Africa. Worst of all, it would also curtail family reunification, and it fails to provide a plan forward for TPS and DED eligible individuals. By the way, to the members of the media present today, I ask that you please stop using the nationalistic terminology, chain migration. The correct terminology is family reunification. This combination of distortion shows that the administration is not yet serious about attracting bipartisan support and still does not value immigrants of color. The promise of America is that people of all backgrounds will be able to come and to thrive. This plan denies that promise. And on the eve of the State of the Union, I must say that we all must continue to resist. Having said that, it is now my honor and privilege to present to you Aldo Solano, Policy Director for Latino Health Coalition and guest of Congressman Blumenauer.
Good afternoon. Buenas tardes. There we go. Thank you all for coming out today and standing in solidarity with us. My name is Aldo Solano, and I'll be 25 years old on Saturday. Happy early birthday, yeah. And I'm a DACA recipient from Oregon. You know, but aside from immigration status, we talk about this a lot. I'm a person. Flesh and bone, heart and soul, hopes and dreams. You can often find me exploring the beautiful outdoors of the Pacific Northwest, or perhaps playing my guitar and singing a tune. I am a friend, I am a brother, I'm a son, and I'm an uncle to two beautiful American citizens. I was only 6 years old when my family and I first came to the US in search of the elusive American dream. And it was seeing their struggles to make ends meet every month and how hard they work in the fields as seasonal farm workers, muddy clothes every day, long hours. It was that instilled in me the desire to improve the lives, not just my family, but the community around me. And throughout the last couple of years, I've had the honor to work in community, with community, and for community in the areas of education, youth empowerment, and healthcare access. In my current role as Advocacy and Policy Director for the Oregon Latino Health Coalition, I work to improve health outcomes and eliminate health disparities amongst vulnerable working families. Most recently, I played a leading role in extending healthcare coverage to every single kid in Oregon, and also protecting healthcare access for 1 in every 4 Oregonians. Without DACA, none of this would have been possible. DACA has allowed me to serve my community in ways that bring about real change. But I am not done, and we're not done. We want to do more. Let us do more. We're not only asking for a right to stay in the country that we call home, but also for the opportunity to use our passion, our skills, and our love to improve the lives of all Americans. I stand before you now with 247 days on my clock in a dark cloud of uncertainty that keeps me up at night and haunts my every move. A solution is needed. We put our trust in the government to do right by our dreams. We've gone through an extensive vetting process. We've paid our dues. We pay our taxes. We need a Clean Dream Act now. And let me be clear about one thing. We will not support something that criminalizes our community and continues to put our families in danger and separates families. We will not support that. Thank you. Up next, I'd like to introduce another incredible dreamer, Nicole Uriah. She's a 17-year-old high school student and guest of Congressman Jerry Connolly.
Good afternoon, everybody. I would like to thank you all, especially Congressman Connolly, for the amazing opportunity and experience I've been given today. My name is Nicole Uriah. I'm 17 years old, from Fairfax, Virginia. I came to the United States from Bolivia with my parents and sisters when I was a year old. We were welcomed by this great nation who opened its doors and its heart to my family and I. As my parents told me, we were in search of the American dream. Growing up, I never really knew nor understood my family's immigration status. For many years, I believed I was born here, just like many of my classmates in Fairfax County. 2 years ago, at the age of 15, my world came crashing down when my parents told me that I was undocumented. For many years, we were hopeful that my situation would change as I got older. Today, I'm 17. Unfortunately, not much had changed, but I was able to apply for DACA. With DACA, my future did not seem so uncertain, but instead filled with hope knowing I still had an opportunity to fulfill my dream of becoming a journalist. But without congressional action, none of my dreams are possible because my DACA expires in September, just 8 months from now. Dreamers like me wake up every morning remembering that we have an expiration date on our futures. I'm getting ready to graduate from high school, but I can't see into the future beyond September. As dreamers, we have hope that the country we call home will give us an opportunity to receive an education that will allow us to serve our communities. We cannot do this alone, and we ask our congressmen and women to raise their voices. Think of the many dreamers losing their status every day that passes by, and pass legislation as soon as possible. Our future is in your hands. The United States is our home. We are Americans. We are here to stay. We are unafraid. Thank you.
How beautiful. I want to call forward Melody Klinenfuss. Come forward, Melody. She's all the way back there. My guest for the State of the Union this evening. And in recognizing her, thank her for all the work she has done for being an advocate for not only her own particular situation, but for dreamers across America. She's part of CHIRLA, and that I mentioned them because there's so many groups who have been organized to protect our dreamers. And again, put them on the pedestal they deserve to be on. That's why 90% of the American people want the dreamers to be here and to be here with full status. So I wanted you all to meet Melody and thank her and CHIRLA and all of the organizations that help all of us honor our vows of our founders of honoring the American dream. Thank you, Melody. Thank you, Dave.
I think that we have, per usual, been re-inspired by the incredible stories of strength and capacity and community and engagement. And at this time, we are at the formal end of this press conference, but are happy to entertain maybe some brief questions from the press. Yes?
Questions. If you could give us the lay of the land now that both Democrats and Republicans have rejected the president's proposal for different reasons, of course. And then also, if you have any reactions about the incident today where Representative Paul Gonzalez apparently contacted Capitol Police to have people, quote-unquote, illegal aliens arrested tonight out of the city. Your reaction to that?
Well, I'll take the latter one first. I'm appalled that any member, irrespective of how you feel, would frankly do two things. One, continue to create discriminatory, hateful rhetoric in the context of we are welcoming these wonderful Americans to this very important event and process, right, about where we're engaging. This is how the political process works. And two, I find it actually incredibly more disturbing because, you know, we have constitutional protections to do our jobs for every constituent that we have, and I find it personally offensive that that member of Congress is interfering with my ability to do my job, which is not constitutional. So I hope somebody tweets that out. And then I'm going to call on leadership, but also, look, I think it's both good and bad that we're seeing more Democrats and Republicans really push back on a White House that doesn't appear to be really negotiating in good faith. When you have individuals who are making policy in the White House who are not interested in legal immigration, this is not a serious effort. I want to take the president at his word, and we'll see tonight. And that word is this. I want 1.8 million dreamers to be protected, that I expect to get legislation that will do that, that I understand and agree that they ought to have a pathway to citizenship. Tying that to other anti-immigrant, anti-minority community issues is completely inappropriate and unfair, and that leverage we are rejecting. We believe that many more moderate Republicans and many more Democrats are becoming incredibly educated on these issues and are standing up for equality and justice, the very American values that make us American. That tells me that there is a path, there will be a path, and tonight could be more evidence of where we see ourselves winning this battle because it's the right thing. And as these young people have said, this is a civil rights issue. It's not a Hispanic Latino issue. It's not a dreamer issue. Dreamers are impacted right now, but they all talk to you about their families. This is about getting this civil rights issue right in this country. We're not about to stop fighting for that. Is anybody else? Yeah. I have no idea. My wonderful friend and colleague from Texas, Sheila Jackson Lee, is being the most respectful of the incredible folks we have here today. Not every member got to introduce their guest. I have no idea how long the press can be here. Right, but we'd love the dreamers to walk up here and give your name and where you're from, give you a sense about who's, we're working hard to reflect the diversity of America. So why don't we do that? And I know that you wanted to ask a question, but let's value their representations too.
Just say one thing. As a senior member of the Judiciary Committee, the actions here in the United States Congress are constitutionally protected. As the chairwoman said, we are doing our duty. But if you are not violating the law and you're an invited guest, you need not be in jeopardy of being denied a constitutional right to free speech and free association and free access. That is what these dreamers have the right to have within the boundaries of this nation. So I would say to the congressman, you try it. How do you want to do it? Because I just... Well, let me, I'm not usurping, but this is esteemed gentleman, Cesar Espinoza. He came here at age 6, and he has a story. If you just want to tell your name, thank you so very much. And it's my guest, my dreamer, and he dreams and works. So, yes. Thank you.
Thank you, Congresswoman. So thank you so much for the honor of being here, and you know, I just want to say something brief. People have asked me today, you know, it's just customary to ask people at the hotels, your first time in Washington? And the answer is no. I've been here for over half of my life lobbying for my ability to be here. I started working on Dreamer issues since 2001. I'm going to disclose my age. I'm 32. But I'm happy to be here. But I'm happy to be here fighting for my ability to exist, telling Congress and the President that we are here and we are not going anywhere. Tonight we are going to be in the chamber and we are going to be unafraid because that's what dreamers are. And our parents, although they are the original dreamers, they are doers. They provided for us and they made us who we are today. So thank you to my parents, thank you to our families, and we are here to stay. And tonight we are unafraid.
So, thank you so much. My name is Diego de la Vega, and I'm a guest of Congresswoman Karen Maloney. I came here in the United States in August of 2001, age of 7, and I've grown up in Queens and Brooklyn for all my life. I've gone to school and I've worked in District 12 with Congresswoman Maloney, and working and dealing with the reality of DACA has been something that I've dealt with all my life, as long as with 800,000 of with my brothers and sisters. We have a week until to see how this legislation will play out, and we have faced moments of defeat for over 17 years now, since the DREAM Act has failed through legislative process since 2001. But